Time now to welcome in Stefan Bondy, NBA reporter for the New York Daily News. Stefan, thanks for the time. Let's jump right in here. What did you think of All-Star Weekend out in Utah?
I mean, it's been trending towards unwatchable for years. There are a couple games that have been good, but this was not one of them. It wasn't that defense was optional. It just felt like it was discouraged. So really, I would like to thank Mac McClung for saving All-Star Weekend. His dunk performance was tremendous, and I see the highlight up there now. That was the real highlight of the weekend because the All-Star game was not watchable. And then you add in the fact that the two captains, Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James, didn't even play in the second half.
So how much of that do you consider, though, right? Because obviously I want him to play defense out there. Kobe years ago said we need to fix this. Guys used to compete. But LeBron gets injured, right? So then does that throw any chance of these guys actually playing a competitive game out here out the window?
I don't think that really played any role. When you watch the game from the very beginning, when LeBron was playing, it just no defense. It was just a layup line. I think Jaylen Brown said it after the game that they need to do something to make this more competitive. They've tried different formats. It's worked once or twice in years past. It did not work this year. It just was not a fun game to watch.
All right, let's talk about this. How the heck was Jalen Brunson not an All-Star?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, and because he has been the best player on the Knicks, and the Knicks had another representative in Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson was certainly deserving. With that being said, when they did the reserves and when they did the voting, you could make the argument that he was second behind Julius Randle and second behind some of the other guards that were taken. He definitely deserved to make it. Is it the biggest controversy in the world? No. And I think the way that he's playing and the way he stepped up in New York, we'll see him eventually in that game.
That being said, people were critical of the signing, said it wasn't a big enough deal. Can you talk about what he's meant to this Knicks team in the first half?
Hey, I was one of the people that was questioning giving Jalen Brunson $104 million.
I appreciate the accountability.
Yeah, I'll admit, I'll raise my hand because what he showed in Dallas was, he was playing off the ball a lot of the time because he was playing alongside Luka Doncic, and you had to question what will happen when he'll be the lead guard. And he has the opportunity in New York, and he's taken it and he's running with it. I heard people say he's the best free agent signing in Knicks history. I don't think that's true. Allen Houston still exists, but he's the best Knick point guard in my mind since Mark Jackson. And you could throw Stephon Marbury in there. I think Jalen Brunson's a better leader and better equipped to succeed in New York.
All right, now he's got his old running mate from Villanova as the Knicks added Josh Hart at the deadline. You already see the energy he brings to the team. What impact do you think he can have on the Knicks in the second half?
Well, it's beyond. Now, listen, he's a big-time Tibbs guy and Coach Tom Thibodeau because of the hustle he brings, because of the rebounding and the defense. But beyond that, he's a real leader in the locker room. You see that immediately. And when you look at this Knicks roster, they have nobody in the rotation over 28 years old. Julius Randle is the oldest player in the rotation. So you add a player like Josh Hart in there, who's a natural leader, who's 27 years old, who's been in the league a while. He immediately steps in there and he becomes one of the big voices. And I've seen that immediately, and I think that's something this team needs.
Yeah, that's a little different from what was going on over in Brooklyn. Let's turn our attention to the Nets for a second here. Obviously, it didn't work out with Kyrie and KD. Do you think it's going to change the way teams look at building championship contenders, thinking of that super team?
No. I think teams still look at it. You need superstars to win a championship. And they look at it as it's an ego thing. They think that they're going to be the ones that can take a Kyrie Irving, take a Kevin Durant, make them happy, and turn them into champions. And that's just the way the NBA is, and it's the way the NBA has been forever. Superstars carry the league. Superstars lead them to championships. The problem is you have to have the right temperament to lead teams. And that's why it was so special what San Antonio had when they had Tim Duncan, and it's special what Golden State has with Steph Curry. With Kyrie Irving, you don't know what you're going to get. Now, he obviously played really well when he was with LeBron James in Cleveland, but since then it's just been a downward spiral, and it was obviously a disaster in Brooklyn.
I want to ask you this quick. Charles Barkley was saying that because of this type of situation that there may be a lockout after the next CBA expires there. You think there's any chance of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the issues. The other one is that Adam Silver, now he downplayed it in his recent press conference, but the load management. If you're a fan and you're paying to see one of the star players, because like I said before, this is a star-driven league, and you don't know whether that star player is going to actually play, That's a problem that's the league is facing that will be addressed in the new CBA. I think a deal will be done. There's just too much money being made right now. The league is too profitable for them to have a lockout. But that is one of the issues that they'll be talking about, and also the star player movement, like you brought up. I think that's something that will be discussed in the CBA.
All right, always a star player in our eyes. Stefan Bondy, thanks so much for the time. New York Daily News, check him out. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.